Well, we've had a windy day today. It was running about 35. It's kind of slowed down a little. And you see behind me, I threw up a quick shelter to do this video. I am in my backyard, nothing fancy. But I wanted to show what's probably not obvious is the walking sticks. There is the great debate between the style that is won most of the debate. Your collapsibles, whether they be aluminum, fiberglass, or carbon fiber. And this is what you see most trekkers and hikers, backpackers with. They've kind of forgotten about the old school, and they've kind of lost sense of the versatility. Are these okay for helping you set up a tarp shelter? Yes. They good for compact storage and, just taking some of the pressure off. Yeah, they're great for that, but they are quite limited in what they can do. As you can see behind me, the normal walking staff that you usually see me with is being used in this quick setup. It can be used in several setups specifically designed for it. In this one, it's got the quick shelter half between one fixed position and a mobile position. It can also be set here on a 45 to make a plow type shelter using the poncho. But at 5'10" it's perfect for a 12 by 12 tarp shelter to either make a pyramid style or the open front pyramid, and also for the 12 by 12 to be used shovel or plow style, which makes the versatility for this much more than the walking stick. One of the things for that is when you're crossing a creek or something, the walking stick does not expand far enough. As we see right there, we take this to its max. If I was crossing a creek or something or coming down this hill, this doesn't get, you see how much lower that is than what I need, and you see that flex there? Now that it's fully extended, it's weak. So while on this slope, it gives me just about enough, it's maxed out and it can't do anything more, so I can't go on anything more steep. The other thing I can't do is when crossing ice, I can't use this to keep myself from falling through. It also makes a piss poor standoff device for whatever you run into out there, whether that be snakes, coyotes, foxes, rabid coons or anything like that. Whereas the stave, and we can see I've got the screw up here that I'm hanging the lamp off. This isn't one that I normally use unless I'm, going old school. The Stonebridge here. I usually use one of the UCO candle lanterns, and I'm not so big on using the candles in them anymore. I'm more keen on using the oil. But with this, using the staff has multiple functions. As you can see, all the setups that you can use with it, I've already alluded to the use of it defensively. And yes, it can be used as a bow staff to protect yourself as a standoff against animals and everything else. And you can see, to make this functional, I've got the 5mm hole drilled in right at hip height for it. Like I said, this one's perfect for me at 5'10". If you're standing off on stuff like this, I've got a lot more standoff and a lot more stability. You see, I'm a lot more vertical here, even with the staff that far out. I can literally prop myself up like on with it, so I'm not putting myself off center as I go down into the ravines, creek beds, and whatever else. Also for crossing fast moving water that's waist and hip deep, it's good for getting out there and keeping you centered and giving you the ability to push off, unlike the walking sticks that you buy. Downside to it is, you know, it doesn't collapse. So what you've got is what you've got. On this, I have 25 feet of 550 cord, and I have 250 feet of 250 pound Kevlar twine. You see the screw up here is actually a set screw, and it has specific purposes. In the bottom is a hole like this one up here, except it's threaded just like this side is right here with an insert, so I can put a fishing spear prong, or I can put the rubber walking staff deal, or the carbide staff spike. But you see the inserts here, and that allows me to use this for foraging, for gaffing, and everything else. I'll demonstrate that with a camp hook. This is something I'll be teaching all of you later as we get more into the series. And this is a camp hook. Now, camp hook's 21 inches. It is great for being a fire poker. It is a meat hook. It is a gathering hook. I said it was a gaff. If you're trying to get berries or nuts or apples and stuff at height, you can see we can now reach all the way up there. If you got rope in the water and it's too swift moving or it's too dangerous for you to go get it, I can now reach down in, hook and grab. Same for gaffing fish. You got a nice salmon in, you don't have a net with you, you just sweep, hook it under the gills and pull it in, and there you go. But the camp hook also acts, you see it's tapered here, also acts as a spit. It goes down the hook, and this digs into the back of the bird or roast or whatever you've got. And that allows you to do some other things with this. Like, say you want to slow roast your coffee over your campfire. You can lash it to the side of a tree out here and put your coffee pot or your soup pot over the end. And you can also, like I said, use it as a spit. So lots of options here with it. And this is kind of a forgotten thing. You almost never see anybody with walking staffs anymore. You see them all with the walking stick, and it's kind of a lost art form with what you've got. It's just like the camp hook. My grandfather had one, but never told me what it was for or anything until I was about 12. No, I was 13. And Uncle Roy and Uncle George came up, and they each had one. And that's when I started seeing what they were doing with them. And I thought it was just to mess around the fire with. And then after they got their deer, I was watching them use it as a hook to break down the deer and all. So, and then with their walking sticks, they were doing the same thing I'm doing right here to get at the grapes, late season grapes. So I thought, hey, that's really neat. So I had my grandfather help me build one. And now I don't know where that one went. That was years and years ago one of the military moves that disappeared. I made this one a couple of years ago when I made a bunch for my kids. So, but I usually put this in with my Pioneer kit, with my Aka axe, my Sven saw. I tuck it right in alongside the Sven saw and strap it and the Sven saw and spare blade together. So, but when I'm out and about with my staff, I was talking about standoff before, and I wish I had the dogs out here. I don't. But if you've got somebody's dog up on the trail that you don't know and it's being aggressive, you can hold it off and literally keep it at distance. But you can also defend yourself from an individual on the trail just to give you standoff and something to hit them with. That'll actually give them a moment of pause, where if you hit somebody with a walking stick, you can pretty much forget being able to do any damage. But if you're planning on hiking alone, or, you know, group of females or something, the staff is the better way to go. Like I said, if you're walking across ice, if you're somebody who does winter hiking, camping and stuff, you know, you walk across the ice like this, you go through. Largest contributor to dying on crossing, you know, ice flows is going all the way through the ice, being drifted beyond the hole, and not being able to find your way out. With the staff like this, when you get up to here, your body actually slows down. So if you can get the staff up, and as you get above, it'll catch the edges of the hole, and you can pull yourself right back up into it, and then you can literally get out there and lock it on, and then get up and spread your weight out on the ice and pull yourself up and out. Inside the Kevlar, the 250-pound Kevlar cable, I've got two sail needles down here to do repairs on any of the tarping, or for helping make nets or repairs to things. So, yeah, very versatile piece of kit that has kind of been forgotten, that I just have never been without. This one, let's see, I've had this one since I was last in Virginia, living there when I was stationed at Fort Lee. So that would have been 2007. First year there, yeah, 2007. I've had this one. This is a piece of black birch, also known as sweet birch or silver birch. Not the strongest wood out there, but it's flexible. It is strong enough to, you know, settle between everything I need it for. It's gotten me through a lot of different trips, hikes, and everything. Since I've had this one, I've been to Kittatinny Mountain, the Appalachian Trail, Shenandoah National Park, North Cascades National Park, Wrangell, Ross Lake, Denali National Park. So, yeah, you can see this one's got good flex on it. I'm in the middle of making a bunch out of Osage orange, which is an infinitely stronger wood. And I'm going to make them a little thinner than this. This is about as thin as I'd want out of a piece of black birch. Out of hickory, you could probably go a little bit smaller. And then you could probably cut it by about half for Osage orange. Although, I think you're going to want a little bit of the mass. This weighs out at 1.25 pounds. With this, it'd probably run out at 2 pounds, you know, at about 2/3 the size of this one out of Osage orange. But with my poncho, just this, the poncho, and some little odds and ends that can fit in a little pouch right here. You know, I've got everything I need if I got stuck in a rainstorm or thunderstorm or something for shelter and basic defense. So, yeah, if you have any questions, please get a hold of me and let's talk through them. There's things that I'm not covering right now. I'm not demonstrating creek crossings. I don't have any flooded creeks right now. The thunderstorms from last weekend are gone and I wasn't prepped for them. And I didn't have anybody take the videos with. Usually you see a tripod. I get lucky today. I talked one of my children into videotaping for me, so I really appreciate it. But yeah, staff versus the walking stick. For me, there's no real question about which one I choose. It's always going to be the staff, then the walking stick. I do usually carry the walking stick to keep it in my pack for little odds and ends and additional support, but the staff is always the primary. If I only need one, this one gets packed away, slid up into my pack, into my gear, and out of the way, because of the versatility of the staff over the stick. So, something for you all to consider. This is something that the old mountain men and trappers used to carry, and that's another reason it was used to fire off traps that were set and going to be taken in and reset. It was also used to help push down on the long springs to open up the trap, to give you some leverage. They'd also, for the bigger, like bear traps, they'd get it, wedge it under a log, step down on the long spring, and then step on top. And while holding their weight down on the long spring, they'd open the long spring and set the pan. So, an extremely versatile piece of kit. If you were to try that with a walking stick, you know, to set a trap, you just break it quick, fast, in a hurry. So, simple piece of wood. I know, and it sounds stupid, and I know some people go to the national forest and they need them to cross a creek or stream, so they'll pick one up and use it just to get across the stream or something, but they're missing out on a whole bunch of other options. There's a short piece of string here that I can use on the right here that's separate. You can see this kind of mess right here, and that's actually 3 feet that's just kind of wrapped up in here. And I use that for the candle lantern, the Yuko candle lantern, when I want it down low enough to be able to see inside the shelter and the campfire. When I want to see around camp, I'll hook it up here. So, yeah. Any questions or comments, please let me know. This is Dave McGregor, and out here.